The wolf that one hears is worse than the orc that one fears. True, but where the warg howls, there also the orc prowls. Fellowship of the Ring. It probably comes as no surprise that I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. After all, the very first slogan for my yearbook was, "One yearbook to rule them all." By launch, it had changed to "You've Got Friends," which is dorky in a different way. As it turns out, this exchange between Boromir and Aragorn also contains surprisingly good advice for founders. As founders, it's easy to get pulled between the wolf in front of us and the orc we fear in the distance. Aragorn's response reminds us that they're connected. The immediate problem deserves our attention, but can also reveal something about the larger challenge ahead. As humans, we tend to catastrophize. We imagine the future scenarios that hang over us. What if my client doesn't need me next year? What if Apple changes its policies? What if this competitor crushes us in 2 years? What if we run out of money next year? While we're busy worrying about those possibilities, today's problems don't stop demanding our attention. An email from an unhappy customer, a landing page with poor An email from an unhappy customer, a landing page with poor conversion, a proposal you need to send out, an outreach list you haven't touched, a hire that could have been made yesterday. An email from an unhappy customer, a landing page with poor conversion, a proposal you need to send out, an outreach list you haven't touched, or a hire that should have been made yesterday. When building anything big, it's easy to be distracted from the immediate problem by distant uncertainty. The challenge is that many future threats aren't actionable yet. One of the best things a founder can do is ask, what wolf can I solve today that prepares me for the orc I fear tomorrow? Are customers bored with your product? That's a wolf. Solving it makes it harder for competitors to beat you. Is your sales pipeline thin? That's a wolf too. And fixing it reduces the chance you'll run out of money. Are users abandoning onboarding? That's a wolf, and improving it strengthens your business no matter what the future holds. As we built my yearbook, Meet Me, the Meet Group, we were always aware of the future threats, new apps, algorithm changes, app store changes, etc. And though we stayed apprised of them and they impacted our strategy, our day-to-day attention went to the As we built my yearbook, Meet Me, the Meet Group, we were always aware of the future threats, new apps, algorithm changes, app store changes, and though we stayed apprised of them and they impacted our strategy, our day-to-day attention went to blocking and tackling the current problem and executing on the pipeline. Solving today's problems is often the best preparation for tomorrow's. The lesson, though, isn't that founders shouldn't think about the future. It's that attention is finite. As a founder, every minute you spend obsessing over the orcs As a founder, every minute you spend obsessing over the orcs, the future problems, is a minute that you're not spending on the wolves, the existing threat. The orcs are still an important problem, but if you don't focus on the wolves, there won't be a company left for the orcs to attack in the uncertain future. Here's what has generally helped me with dealing with certain and uncertain problems. First, identify what problems are wolves and which ones are orcs. Which of your fears are so ambiguous or distant that there isn't a clear actionable step you can take towards attacking them? Those are your orcs. Recognize them. Next, group and prioritize the issues. Ask yourself which wolves are merely urgent and which ones can reduce future risk. Prioritize the latter whenever you can. Lastly, set aside time to think strategically. Seriously. As y'all know, I'm a big fan of time boxing. Time boxing can be your friend to managing uncertainty because it means that when the existential threat pops into your head at 3 a.m., you can write it down and know you'll deal with it later. You can set up your time budget to include dedicated strategy time to identify wolves that will best prepare you for the orcs you fear. For instance, what if our meta ad "stop working" feels like an orc? But you can reframe it into a concrete problem you can actually work on today. How can I diversify acquisition channels so we're less dependent on meta? You won't be able to turn every orc into a wolf, but this reframe will help you keep you from being stuck. Okay. I'm gonna fix the punctuation. You won't be able to turn every orc into a wolf, but this reframe will keep you from being stuck in a cycle of worrying when you could be preparing. Founders can't ignore the orcs. Strategy matters. Preparing for the future matters. That often means making the murky future more actionable. Businesses aren't usually won or lost because someone worried harder about tomorrow. They're won by founders who keep showing up to solve today's wolves, one after another, while keeping an eye on the orcs. There will always be another orc on the horizon. Until then, keep your attention on the wolves you can hear.